What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fanatically Speaking. I'm Kent.
I'm Logoff. I'm the Logoff legend. And we're here to say everything that every fan is thinking, but louder and probably a little crazier. Get ready. This is Fanatically Speaking with Kent and Logoff. You know what's funny? Like, I'm not a social media hater. I'm a social media hater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want people to think that I get on the internet and start hating people on social media. That's not what I do.
The first half was absolutely horrible. You know, just inept offense, inept defense, special teams, you name it.
I'm going to turn into Oprah. Why were you so angry?
He sucks this season. This game, whatever's going on, right? And the very next pitch, guess what they do? They double homer, and he's like, "Told you, Dad. Why are you always knocking down people?"
You got the highs and the lows.
Yeah, so I do that.
You need the highs and the lows, and
so I do that. Yeah, but
I'm trying to be the voice of reason here.
I am what I am. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fanatically Speaking. I'm Kent, your co-host and promoter.
I am Logoff, the Logoff legend, the hater of social media. I am the co-host and producer of the show.
Today, we're going to the farm, kinda. We're gonna talk about goats.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about goats. Yeah, let's do that. I mean,
all kinds of sport goats.
Yeah, not Billy Goats, you know, and
not Billy Goats, not Goat Boy. Sport goats.
You know what's funny? Have you ever seen the pictures of the goats standing on the side of the mountain?
I think so.
Yo, no, that shit is crazy. Like a ledge, like 2-3 inches wide, and they're standing like sideways on the. You never seen that shit?
I don't think so.
Dude, it'll trip you out. Before this over, I'll have to send you a picture of that shit. It's crazy looking.
Are them standing on us? You said the highway?
Standing on the side of a mountain, sir.
On the side of the mountain. Okay.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but
it's crazy.
I got you. Don't look it up. I'm gonna send it to you in the middle of this and blow your mind real quick.
And it's from a guy who grew up with goats.
Yeah, there were a couple of goats around me.
We had goats. My grandparents had goats, but that's another conversation.
Yeah.
So let's get into the GOAT conversation. I put this as the obligatory GOAT debate. It's Jordan versus LeBron.
Okay. Even though I know LeBron's only been in the league 20-something years, it's a question as old as, I mean, I don't know. It feels like it's been around forever. It feels like it has an answer to the question, but yet people still argue it about who is the NBA GOAT. I guess is probably the better way to put it. So I mean, we're not going to bury the lead. I already know who you're going to go with in the GOAT debate. So I'll let you go ahead and lead off. I'll let you be Shohei.
Okay, so Jordan is my guy as GOAT of the NBA, best player ever. Maybe that comes from, again, growing up in the 90s, living the Michael Jordan era. We brought up, sports villains, and that was your sports villain, one of them, because he won, because he was the guy, he was on top. And, so the 90s, man, I mean, like, it was just a different time, but he controlled, I mean, he dominated. He dominated on the court, he changed the game, he changed the eyeballs that were on the game. Look at the scoring titles. Look at the defensive player of the years. Look at the finals runs. There was nobody like him. Skill level, you name it. I could keep on going. Never lost in the finals. There's so much about him. And people argue, that he played with, Pippen and Rodman and all these great players. Well, I always say, he played with Pippen. We can always guess if Pippen would have been the same player without Jordan. We know what Pippen was after Jordan. He wasn't the same player. Rodman was always on championship teams with Detroit and then in Chicago. Other times he was a little wacky. with the San Antonio and other teams. But yeah, my pick's Jordan. Always with LeBron. Just that's what I put into it. Like I know they say the myth of Jordan. He never lost a game. He never did anything. He never missed a shot.
Yep.
He did.
His legend, yes, his legend is so far out ahead of everyone else's. I understand. I don't want to cut you off. I want to let you finish. I just want to make sure I didn't cut you off.
No, you didn't cut me off. I mean, I don't really have much more to say except, he started with a terrible team, built it up, and then once they started winning, then they never lost. Never lost the championship. Yeah, every year that he played the full season, we know about. He left for baseball after his father passed. He came back. They lost to the Magic. He had to switch from 45 back to 23, and then retired in the Wizards era. It's all it is what it is. But with eyeballs watching the game, and we can talk about stats all day long. And I've got you. If you want to bring up LeBron's stats, just look at the years, do the math of Jordan. If he would have played the 2 years that he sat out, or the years in between Bulls and Wizards, he would be right there in a lesser time than LeBron on the points. And even at the time he did play, he put up the points, put up the stats, and again, clutch. He had that mentality, and we've seen the documentary, right? I mean, he didn't care about anything else but basketball and winning, and he's going to make sure his teammates did the same. So all that wrapped into one makes him the GOAT of the NBA. And again, you had to live it, you had to watch it. He wasn't perfect, but he damn sure was close.
Okay. Some of that I heard before, some of that I haven't. So I'm just gonna poke some holes in that real quick, and then I'm gonna attempt to classify LeBron as being a formidable opponent in this discussion. One, there's several other players in the NBA history who've got more rings than Jordan. So the ring debate is, where everybody just kind of wanted to put his 6 versus LeBron's 4. Okay, easy math, we get it. But there were, I think the reason why Jordan kind of gets the overwhelming pick as the GOAT is because, like you said earlier, his legend is so far ahead of any current player or past player, because everyone who's basically living right now has either experienced it, and then the young kids that are growing up were always told about how great Jordan was. And then you could look up the highlights and everything on YouTube and all of that stuff. I know how you said how, the only thing he cared about winning. I would say that he loved, as much about winning, he loved smoking cigars. And he also loved dad jeans. And he loved gambling. Okay?
Yes.
So, there were other things that he loved.
Golf.
Golf, baseball, left basketball. He loved basketball, left it to go play baseball. And I understand, that's dad passing and all that. I'm not trying to make light of it. But the other thing that I can say is that can't be taken for granted. And I think the only reason why we take it for granted now is because we see other examples of athletes doing this, like LeBron, is playing into their 40s. And, of course, Brady had a head start on him. Nothing we could do. But there's so many great athletes. I mean, we saw what Steph Curry did opening night this year at 37 years old. Incredible. Yeah. At 37 years old. And it's crazy because I still remember him as that Davidson kid, babyface assassin. Mm-hmm. But the way that LeBron has played, the physical style of basketball, at such a high level, there's never been a player 38, 39, 40 that puts up the amount of production that he does now. What I will say is he does pick his spots. He takes it easy. He does not play as hard as he used to, but name a 40-year-old that does. And we could talk about the records and the points records and the games played and all this stuff. It has to matter, because when it's all said and done with him, those records will never be broken. He is going to shatter all of those records. And as much of the credit that we want to give to Jordan, Jordan missed some years in his career. He had the injury year where he hurt himself. He had of course, the years, like you said, the 2 years in between the championships, when they came back and lost to the Magic. So these are things that are going to happen throughout a player's career, not LeBron's. He never missed a significant amount of time. The only time he missed time was during like nagging injuries that just didn't heal up quick enough. But I think it has to be in the conversation to where it's not like, hey, it's just cut and dry. Jordan's better than LeBron, period. You have to understand that if you put those two side by side in a game, I think we all would like to think that that Jordan would beat LeBron. But I gotta be honest, man, I like LeBron's chances. Like, the only thing I know for sure that Jordan had over LeBron was, I firmly believe that Jordan just didn't give a shit. And I think LeBron does care.
Oh,
but
sure.
If you put them on the court side by side, I think that it would be the time for him to actually care enough to show us what he is. I think if you put him on the court with Jordan in their prime, you would get the best version of LeBron. You may get your best version of Jordan too, but you would absolutely get your best version of LeBron. And that's the best I could do in trying to make a case for Bron.
All right, so my turn to poke holes in you.
Go ahead. You have the floor. You have the floor, sir.
A couple of things. You mentioned his physicality. Well, he definitely doesn't play in the 90s. So LeBron has not played in a physical era of basketball. He plays in the era of basketball where they want offense. And we know LeBron, if the wind blows by his head, he acts like he got stabbed in the face. And he falls on the floor crying and kicking his legs. So we know the LaFlop does what he does.
Yes, he does.
Jordan never did that. Now, Jordan did get Jordan calls. I'm not going to sit here and act like he didn't. He got that special treatment. But so LeBron does that. We all know, like I said, flopping and, the craziest stuff you've ever seen. And we get to the championships. I always bring this up. I could never give LeBron the GOAT title because, he lost to the Dallas Mavericks where he just disappeared in the finals. Michael Jordan would have never disappeared in the finals. He would have never allowed his team or himself to lose to that Dallas Mavericks team. Not a Dirk Nowitzki and a bunch of old dudes, role players and Jason Kidd being an old point guard.
Whoa. We're not going to sit here and disrespect J.J. Barea. We're not going to disrespect. We will not disrespect J.J. Barea.
Look, he disappeared. That Heat team was built to win, and they didn't get the job done. Then he goes on to win. They beat the Thunder. Then here's where I start getting a little nitpicky again, right? Like I didn't even bring up the Cavs. Like I give LeBron credit. That Cavs team went to the finals. One of that lightning in a bottle seasons playoff run that he had, and he was amazing. So I'm giving credit to LeBron. Young LeBron, one of the greatest performances I've ever watched him go against the Pistons in those playoffs. Eventually, though, he met the mighty Spurs, and they took care of him, which they should have. So now we get back, right? Lose to the Mavericks. And this is after coming off those Cavs playoff losses where they were saying what happened to LeBron. He disappeared against the Celtics, against the Magic. So here we go in the finals against the Mavs, and he disappears, right? No points in fourth quarters, things like that, right? We hear Stephen A. bringing up this stuff. So then he beats the Thunder, a young up-and-coming team. Then, of course, he beats the Spurs. If only there's just those little things that happen, like he better send Ray Allen a cake every year or something for knocking down that shot. He better send something to Greg Popovich every year for not having Tim Duncan in that ball game.
To grab that rebound?
To grab that rebound. So he should send Kawhi Leonard something for missing those free throws, because LeBron had missed every shot at the end of that game, right? He missed that bad shot that the rebound got kicked out to Ray Allen. So at the end of the day, though, he did come back. Game 7, he won. They let him shoot, and he performed. So credit there. Next year, Spurs put that whooping on him. I give LeBron credit for only a few titles. I'm not going to go through the whole history. The run that he had in the East was amazing. That loss to the Mavericks hurts, right? That's a tough one. Then he got a title in a bubble.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, these are things that happen that, again, I'm not saying that, everybody's on the same playing field, right? They were all in the bubble. But it's still the bubble. There's no traveling. There's no going, But they won with what was in front of them. But still a bubble. They beat the Warriors. That was his greatest victory in the finals, I would say. But, of course, then you got that asterisk of the Draymond suspension.
The Curry injury.
Curry injury. So there's things that happen. But he still won. He still went to, all the finals in a row. So credit to LeBron. But again, those losses, his action, the flopping, just certain things. But like you said, he did think about things too much. And that's probably because he was playing in Jordan's shadow. He was crowned the king in high school. He's King James. He's getting televised in high school. So there's a lot of pressure. He's handled it very well. I always give LeBron his credit where it's due. And again, carrying himself the way he carries himself as a family man, staying out of trouble. Nothing. You never hear anything like that with LeBron. He says a lot of stupid stuff. He puts on an act a lot. Like, he's a really good actor. He just does just stupid stuff that your GOAT or self-proclaimed GOAT just can't do.
So all right,
I mean?
so I'm and I do know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Like, yeah, don't self-proclaim yourself as well. But there's just those little things. The Jordan stuff again. You say who would win? Jordan was pretty tough, man. He was a good defender. We could say LeBron was a good defender. It would be a tough matchup. Jordan in his prime, though. He had that killer instinct. It would have been fun. We can always fantasy book that and fantasy think about what that would be like. Two different players, though, also. I think we can agree on that. Built different positions. I think LeBron was really smart. I think he's a really smart player still to this day. Give him credit. He played a lot of games. He hasn't really set out a lot, but he does kind of get into that load management. And you heard Jordan. I don't know if you saw the interview the other night. He's not a fan of load management, and he never was. So he played. There's all the things we can nitpick, and you could say there's no one answer, right? I'm defending Jordan, you're defending LeBron. We thought this would be a good topic to just get it out of the way. All podcasts, all shows, they gotta do the Jordan LeBron debate, and that's why I said the obligatory GOAT debate for the NBA. I've lived through both eras now. And, of course, I'm going to be partial to the 90s because I believe everything was better in the 90s.
I agree. I agree with that.
So the Jordan era, I had a little fatigue in the 90s, like you talked about. Again, that comes with anybody winning all the time if it's not your team, right?
Yeah.
But the LeBron stuff, again, I was team LeBron up until, man.
The decision?
No, you know what? I was behind him 100%, man. I used to defend him because he's a free agent. I'm like, well, why are you mad? Like, they did everything.
So what was it?
Man, he just started talking.
Okay, so no, hold on.
I think it's the talking and the flopping. So if you want to say the off the court is really just him yapping a lot about stuff.
So
and a lot of times I just don't think he knew what he was talking about, but he would like to just put his input. And it's like, we know you think you're a king, but you're not. So
here's the thing. There's a lot of that I can agree with when it comes to LeBron. There's a lot of that I can agree with. So just to, and I'll put a bow on this.
Yeah.
And this ain't going to take me long. The thing about Jordan is this. you're saying I understand the thing you're saying about LeBron. He says this and he does this stuff off the court. Jordan didn't say shit. No. Jordan never said anything meaningful. All the favorite quotes that we have from Jordan either come from his commercials or something that we've heard somebody else repeat that he said. Like he's not. I mean, the Last Dance documentary. It's like, okay, he had a chance to kind of rehearse for that, and it's fine. It was tailor made for Jordan sitting on the couch with some scotch or some whiskey or whatever that was he was drinking, right?
Yeah.
Like it was tailor made.
It was.
But I think all in all, the reason why, if no one's gonna pick LeBron as the GOAT, the main reason is because at the end of the day, no matter how long he lives, no matter how much money he makes, no matter what he does, he will never be as cool as Michael Jordan. And I think that's what it boils down to. We always look at LeBron as some dude that's trying too hard, dude that's maybe a little too corny. And you never got that from Jordan. And I think that's what it is. It's you could take all the on the court stuff, like you mentioned, we could bring up stats all day.
Yeah.
But then you couple that with the guy who literally made bald cool.
Yes.
We talk about a guy who and people seem to forget this. People seem to forget this about Jordan. Jordan had a commercial where he literally had a Hitler mustache, and no one said anything. He was selling
a Hanes commercial.
He was selling Hanes on a flight. He was in the air selling underwear with a Hitler mustache.
That's right. They could do a Sharpie right
and
under his nose.
give him the skid mark right there on his lip. Like so I get it. I understand it. It makes sense to me. But so I think those types of things are going to be things that are outside of LeBron's control. He is who he is. I do think he's a little bit of a cornball, and I think that hurts and makes him. I hate using the word legacy. God, it's so fucking lame. But the other thing that kills me about this, and I know somebody's going to steal my take, but that's why LeBron will never be Jordan. The level of cool that Michael Jordan had in that era, all the brands and products that man is responsible for still being cool today. McDonald's, Gatorade, Nike, Hanes. Those are still his cologne. J's.
His Jordan shoe, or the shoes alone are the greatest shoes ever created.
So much so, and I was actually I was listening to something earlier, listening to a podcast, and they were talking about Complex does like a top 25 shoes of the year or whatever, and over half of them are retro Jordans, which to me is cheating. Like if you're gonna do a shoes of the year, why don't you do new shoes that are coming out with all these new athletes and kind of give them a chance to promote them? I get it. The Jordans are dope. I get it.
Because they're still not better than the Jordan.
Maybe, but the Jordans are gonna sell without Complex putting half of them on their list. The off-whites and the all the retros and all that stuff. So props to Jordan. He's killing it. By the way, I need you to admit that the interviews that Jordan is doing kind of cheesy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and watch it because what else does Jordan have to tell me? Like I like the clips. Like I said, he's talking about load management. I like that because it is stupid.
But so, you didn't. But here's the thing. And I'm not giving you that, Kent. You didn't need Jordan to tell you that. Everybody act like Jordan said something that was profound. Who loves there's only one person on this planet who loves load management.
Makes him the GOAT. What?
Greg Popovich.
Well, yeah, he created.
He's the creator of load management. So
but he did it in a special way. But the other thing, one more thing that'll make Jordan better than LeBron is his Space Jam is better than LeBron's Space Jam.
He did have a much better Space Jam. So much so
because I didn't want to watch the second one.
I didn't watch the second one either, dude.
There's no reason.
Hell out of here, LeBron.
No, you can't want to get out of Michael Jordan's shadow and then try to
literally follow in his footsteps.
Nah, I can't do it.
Not gonna be able to do it.
LeBron is an all-time great. It's an all-time fun conversation. He's a top five. He's in the starting lineup of the all-time five. Anybody would take him every day of the week. I would take him on the Hornets. There were times I wanted that trade, Jordan to go get LeBron, because I'll take anybody in Charlotte to make them a winner. But
I can tell.
Good fun conversation. We're gonna shift gears. If you're ready to shift gears.
Yeah, let's shift. Let's go. What you got?
We're gonna hit on all the other sports that we care about. About who's the GOAT. A lot of these are gonna be really short conversations. We knocked out the NBA there with Jordan, LeBron, and now we're gonna get into first the NFL.
Okay. All right. So I think I'm going to take this one. So we're talking GOAT, greatest player of all time within the NFL. So that means for any position.
Yes.
That means for any era. That means for any team. So we are going just purely on their greatness as a player. Now, for the LeBron and Jordan conversation, there was a lot of back and forth about all the things that were taking place off the court. Do those components matter when it comes to this particular GOAT debate as well?
I think you can bring them up, but for some reason in football,
doesn't feel the same, does it?
They don't like to use the off the field stuff, unless we go back to our sports villains and O.J. Simpson. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Okay, so I'm gonna go with my GOAT, all-timer, Hall of Famer. He has a very simple name that even if you were to hear it, it doesn't matter. You're still gonna think about this man. He was an amazing athlete in multiple sports. He played in an era that was very hard to be at the highest of high levels. At this time, they did not make a lot of money, but he was able to parlay all of that football success into a very respectable acting career. And on top of that, he was one of the most prominent athletic civil rights leaders of our time. I'm talking about a one and only Mr. Jim Brown himself.
Okay. Nice.
Just it's easy. I mean, listen, if anybody wants, if you don't believe me, go back and look up some Jim Brown highlights. It's all over YouTube. Look at his stats, look at what he did, and a lot of people don't know this, hell of a lacrosse player.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, so I mean, just solid resume top to bottom. He's got controversial stuff in his past, like all athletes from that era does, and I'm not dismissing any of that. But in terms of my GOAT, greatest of all time athlete, the toughness, he did this without all of the drugs in the era now, all the surgeries in this era now, and without the modern conveniences that athletes have, and that dude was an absolute murderer on the football field. Jim Brown with a bullet.
Okay. So we can agree we don't have Tom Brady as the GOAT.
Oh, I do have Tom Brady as a GOAT, but when it comes to quarterbacks, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay. I just want to bring up my Tom Brady take is just that he only really won 2 Super Bowls.
Wow. Okay.
Maybe 3.
Listen, no, I'm not going to allow you to do this.
I will do that.
No. I'm not going to allow you to take away championships from people who went out there and earned them. That man was he wasn't on the bench. He was the starting quarterback.
Listen,
for those teams that won Super Bowls, I will not allow that to happen, sir.
I'm not going to take away championships.
Sure sounds like it.
But when there's always a but, you know what I mean? Then that championship has a little, it's a little tainted. Like I said, the first 3, they were they were cheating, videotaping practices before the Super Bowl. We don't know what they saw those first 3 titles. And then you got all the Seahawks have to do is hand the ball off. They should have never won that game. I know that they did, but I'm just saying, Seahawks just handed off.
Listen, if you give me the but I could massacre anyone's championship resumes.
I understand.
Yeah.
Tom Brady,
so I'm not gonna allow you to do it. I can't.
I put Tom Brady like LeBron. Tom Brady did perform, and he played at a high level for a long time. I will never take that away. I only like to argue about his championships, that they all have something going on The Patriots-Rams was one of the worst Super Bowls in history of the world. The Bucs Super Bowl, that was probably his best one, to be honest with you. And but yeah, I can agree. He's an unbelievable player. He played for a really long time. Again, I like to go back in the past. Joe Montana was pretty dang good. Also, different eras. I think we forget about that too. Like Tom Brady got the Tom Brady rule. He had the Tuck rule.
Did
Yeah, again, offensive-minded league. That's where like numbers are inflated now. I know athletes are better, players are better, but all that stuff comes into play. I'm not going to go Brady just because I think we can both agree on that. I'm just going to go Barry Sanders. So
okay. You're gonna have to elaborate.
we always talk about no one ran the ball like Barry Sanders. Nobody had those moves. Nobody put up the numbers in a short bit of time outside of Jim Brown, right? Both of them short careers.
Very short careers.
And I can't argue with Jim Brown. I'm just giving you a different person.
Got it.
But Barry Sanders, again, we always talk about if he had that Dallas offensive line, how many yards would he have rushed for? He played in Detroit. They had a couple of good teams, but never really, I don't think, serious contenders for a championship. And I think a lot of that was because they had Barry Sanders. There's been no one like him until probably Saquon. Truthfully,
Okay.
there might be a couple other players in there, but the one that reminds you of Barry is Saquon Barkley. But yeah, I mean, again, is he the NFL GOAT? I don't know. Maybe running back. Then you got Jerry Rice, greatest receiver. Deion Sanders, greatest corner. I mean, there's so many GOATs. I'm not going to sit here and just give one. I just can't.
Got it. No, and that's fine. And that's fine.
I think I just wanted to hit on a conversation about it. I've got more to say on the baseball probably, though.
Got it. And yeah, and like I said, and the one thing I'll use to kind of close with the NFL and their particular GOATs that we picked.
Yeah.
A comparison and a correlation between both of our picks, and we did not do this intentionally. Both Jim Brown and Barry Sanders, they both only played for one team their entire careers.
Wow.
So it's a rarity. Obviously something like that doesn't take place nowadays. Totally different time.
Very tough.
But yeah, I mean it's in and different eras. But yeah, both killers, and yeah, I like that Barry Sanders pick. Just because it's hard to argue, because I don't think there's any bad words that have ever been said about that man.
Never.
Yeah, he's the pinnacle. He's the football player's football player.
So our next GOAT conversation real quick is Major League Baseball. And this is a fun one because there's so many factors, so many variables. You want me to go?
Lead off on this one. Using my baseball puns.
So I did some numbers. I do this every now, especially with baseball. I like to just take stats, take numbers, take awards, put it in a spreadsheet, and then compare. I do this mainly for like Hall of Fame, but I've been doing it lately for who is in that conversation of greatest player ever in Major League Baseball. Okay. Now, we got, you got your steroids that affect some players. And then I've got I don't know if this is a hot take, but anybody ever had this conversation with me, they know what I bring up when I talk about Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, guys like that.
Yes.
I don't put you in the GOAT conversation unless you
Can I say it? Can I say it?
You can say it.
Because you didn't play against black people.
Yeah.
You didn't play
Black
against Dominicans.
People, Hispanic, anybody. Like, you have to play against everybody. You can't, you have to play after integration. So, Babe Ruth, sorry. Your Cracker Jack ballparks, you will not get on my GOAT list. I don't care how great and mythical you are. So I look at the numbers, and you got guys like Pete Rose, all-time hit leader. outside the gambling, again, Charlie Hustle, right? I mean, he did everything, played all kinds of positions. You're every man's man baseball player, right? You got Hank Aaron, was the home run king, but put up, he's right up there in hits as well with Pete Rose. Pretty good fielder, all around player. He had that longevity, right? He played for a really long time too. Got the, champion, MVP. Those things come into play. Willie Mays, unbelievable fielder. Again, got the home runs, got the hits, got the fielding. I look at all of this stuff. Mickey Mantle, they considered the greatest switch hitter ever. Didn't have the numbers because of injuries and things like that, but had the homers. All-time Yankee. Then you got like Ken Griffey Jr. His numbers are slightly down because of injuries, right? But still, MVP, home run hitter, unbelievable fielder, sweetest swing ever in baseball.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
Record scratch.
Okay.
I'm not going to sit here and let you name 18 baseball players.
I'm just naming them, and then I'm gonna get to the GOAT.
I need you to pick one.
I got you. I'm just bringing up everybody in the conversation. Albert Pujols is in the conversation. A-Rod is, but again, A-Rod hurt himself by getting busted.
Ew.
If you look at everything A-Rod number-wise, historic-wise, he was an unbelievable talent as soon as he walked onto a field. But then when you get caught after the fact, that's the problem. So I don't know. We don't know when his usage started and ended. My GOAT is Barry Bonds. And
okay,
that's because if you take, I've taken the numbers after the alleged steroid use, and if you just take the averages that he had before that with his career, kind of like do the math, he's still a Hall of Famer. He's still got the MVPs. He's still got the All-Stars. He's still got the Gold Gloves. Maybe not as many. Maybe not as many walks. Definitely not as many home runs. But if you average out the numbers, man, he was already a Hall of Famer. I think he was the most complete player that ever stepped on a baseball field. And that is at this moment, obviously. You could say Shohei Ohtani, he pitches, he hits. He doesn't play the field, though. So,
okay. I mean, that's not a bad pick. I mean, my pick is pretty straightforward. It's it's easy for me, and I'm gonna pick a gentleman who played baseball from 1948 to 1973. Who started his career in the Negro Leagues. I'm going to go with Mr. Willie Mays.
Yeah, not a bad pick at all.
His stats are what they are. 660 home runs, but to play professional baseball, starting in the Negro Leagues, and to have a career that spans that long over that many eras throughout the Civil Rights era. Into the early 70s, and the impact that he had on the game as a player, and that's the thing. Like he was such an impactful player. I have no idea what his voice sounds like. Like there's just not. I haven't seen just a lot of footage and interviews.
Right.
Later in his life, I have, but
Yeah.
I mean it's different. But I mean just kind of him as a player, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But who he is as a baseball player, like when you say his name, it's instantly respected. Yeah. No asterisks whatsoever. No caveats whatsoever. You mentioned, Babe Ruth and, Ty Cobb and, we could go, Lou Gehrig, Mickey Mantle, Barry Bonds, steroid use. Like you could go through all these different names, but, similar to what you said earlier about Barry Sanders, like no one's gonna have a bad word to say about Willie Mays. So
never heard a bad word. Yep.
Never heard a bad word, and so for me, it's just a very simple, easy pick. As we know, you are the bigger MLB fan than I am.
Yes,
but but I think that pick is, beyond respectable. I think if you pull any list of top baseball players of all time, he's certainly in the top 5 on every single list ever made.
I was about to say he's top 5. So if you've got him at 1 or 5 or in the middle, it's okay, because like you talked about the era he played in. The same for Hank Aaron. If you just said Hank Aaron, the only difference is Mays was a better fielder. So Hank Aaron went through the same stuff, getting into the league, playing and having to deal with what they dealt with during that time period, and still to become the players they were become. It showed how great they were as a player and a person to do that. So yeah, I think like you said, he's a top 5, and if he's your number 1, that's a great pick.
Yes. Yeah. I got to roll with Willie Mays. Let's transition to so we went from NFL, which I know very well, to MLB, which I know a little less about, to wrestling, professional wrestling, which is something I don't know much about at all. So I'll let you lead the way on this. You can't name 87 damn names. Okay?
I'm not.
You can't name 87 names.
I told you when we did this, I said, hey, just tell me, we're going to do WWE only. I just want to get it out there who I have. Again, this is that obligatory Mount Rushmore. We're not going to do a lot of Mount Rushmores because everybody does it, but I wanted to get the WWE out because that's always a conversation. Who's on the mountain? Who's on the mountain?
No. And see, and I think this is where things get twisted, because you're saying WWE.
Yes.
I don't know the difference between WWE and other wrestling leagues.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is just make it all of wrestling.
I will not make it all wrestling because I am that guy, and there's going to be wrestling fans. They get mad about
You're the wrestling snob.
I am a snob because they were like, oh, you got to watch everything. No, I don't. Like, I used to watch, again, there used to be WCW. Then it got bought by WWE. We got TNA still. We got AEW now. There's New Japan. There's all kinds of wrestling. I'm just sticking to the number one. The number one is WWE. So I just want to get my Mount Rushmore out there, get it on record. And I'm going to tell you why these 4 guys are on the Mount Rushmore. And there's a couple knocking on the door. First, Hulk Hogan. Again, what he did for wrestling, the craze that was Hulkamania, wrestler, coming from the movies and Rocky into the WWF at the time. But WrestleMania, he helped grow the sport. He is the reason why the sport is what it is today. Then he was in movies, TV shows, everything Hulk Hogan was. And then not only was he that in the WWF, WWE at the time, then he went to WCW and did it again, this time as a heel, as Hollywood Hulk Hogan. So I know I jumped to WCW, but all that in what he was makes him the GOAT. The fandom, all that matters. Like, right? Like, Hogan didn't have a bunch of wrestling moves, and people still loved him. They just loved his charisma, his personality, the persona, everything Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania. And when you're like that in the business of wrestling, they're like, yeah, we're putting the title on you. Beyond all the stories about Hulk Hogan, behind the scenes stuff, all that didn't matter. As a performer, as a wrestler, he is on that list as the WWE, one of the GOATs. The other one is the same reason. You have to be a part of the run, a part of the craze, a part of the fandom. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Got it. Yeah.
Started as a heel, turned into a kind of like a heel / babyface. Austin 316 took off like nothing else. His fandom, he had a shorter span of career as Stone Cold Steve Austin, but he was the guy, right? He was 1A, because 1A, 1B, I'll talk about that here shortly. Stone Cold, again, the fandom, the popularity, the merch, everything that came with it. Even again, same with Hogan. Even if you didn't watch wrestling, you knew who Hulk Hogan was. You know who Stone Cold Steve Austin was, and you still do know who he is. That 1A, 1B, that time period, The Rock, right?
Okay.
There was nobody. Rock and Stone Cold were right there. And again, the fans, number one guy, top draw. Then he becomes a movie star. He can come back anytime he wants, and I bet you he gets cheered louder than anybody else on that roster to this day. He's just got it. He was born for it. It's in his blood. It's in his family. And again, the merchandise, the catchphrases, same with Stone Cold, catchphrases, Hogan, catchphrases, merchandise, all that matters when you're talking about being the number one guy. Rock also able to go heel, face, baby face anytime, and you still love him no matter what he does. He's just, again, one of a kind of performer on the mic, in the ring. And then lastly is John Cena.
Okay.
Now, Cena had to grow on me as a wrestling fan, but then again, the longevity of it, the fandom, the popularity. People kind of, like I mentioned that in the villains one, I mentioned John Cena because he got that Jordan type treatment a little bit, right? I mean, he's the guy, they push him, and you kind of get sick of it. But you have to respect him. He carried the company just like those other three guys carried the company into a new era, whether it was into popularity or out of a rut. They've all done it. Those four guys did it. And merchandise, championships, all that stuff included. There's no one like those four. There's one guy that's knocking on that door, and he's maybe he's got 5 years, depending on how, we don't know yet.
Okay, hold on. Can I guess? And keep in mind, I don't know shit about wrestling, so I'm just gonna make a guess.
Yeah, go for it.
Are you gonna say Roman Reigns?
Roman Reigns is knocking on the door, and again, we could talk about wrestlers all day long, and I'm just giving you my recipe or my criteria for what I believe makes them the GOAT.
So I'm gonna say
Mount Rushmore.
So I'm going to say this, and this is just going to be, and I'm being completely honest. I'm not even trying to be funny when I say this.
Okay.
I know every other name that you mentioned. I know.
Yes.
Like I know them. I've seen something that they've done. I've seen a movie that they've been in. I've seen a commercial that they star in.
Yeah.
You
don't watch wrestling.
Well, no, I don't. But
yeah.
I feel, and maybe it will take time. Maybe it will take 5 more years. No bullshit. I have no idea what Roman Reigns looks like. None.
Wow.
I just don't. I just don't. And that's not a sign of disrespect. Those other guys have tenure and history and decades of work where anything that they've done from, movies to being the wrestling heel has crossed my path. Roman Reigns, I do know his name.
Yeah.
No idea what that dude looks like. I'm going to Google it right now.
Yeah, so quick on Roman Reigns. He came up when he got on the main roster through a group called The Shield. They were popular, and then like all groups and
I know this dude. Okay, I've seen him before. Yeah. Okay, so I ain't know that was him.
So all groups and factions, they eventually go and they get their singles career. And his kind of started rough because he was shoved down people's throats. It wasn't until he turned heel and became what they call the Tribal Chief. Then he became actually more popular as a heel. He became better wrestler, better on the mic, everything better. And he carried the company out of COVID for the last so many years until it was time to hand it over to Cody Rhodes. But again, to this day, he is box office. He is full-time, but he's not on every week. He's not on every show. So when Roman Reigns shows up, it's a big deal. But he's right up there, man. He's knocking on the door. So that's my WWE. That's my nerdum. My nerd take for the day. So yeah, I wanted to get my Mount Rushmore out there, man.
Yeah, like I said, the Roman Reigns. I know his face, and I get it. Like I mean, like when I see it, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I've seen this guy and stuff. But I didn't make a connection between the two. But the other guys that you put on there, like they're on the list for sure. Yeah, all of those guys. I mean, come on, man. Like Hulk Hogan was in a Rocky movie. That's all it That's all it takes. Let's kind of round out the GOAT conversations.
Yep.
And this is a little more all-encompassing. So we've got one final GOAT list or one final GOAT category, and that's GOAT for all-time athlete. So the all-time GOAT. So this covers any sport. Mm-hmm. This covers any era. And I I'm gonna be a little controversial with it because I actually have two picks. When I say both of them, I think you'll understand why.
Okay.
So I am going to defer to you
Oh, okay.
and let you go ahead and
Yeah.
get yours off for all time
Yeah.
GOAT athlete.
Okay. So with this one, it was the mindset of you had to be a great player, not necessarily the greatest player in your sport, but mine. I was just talking about athlete, right?
Yes.
Physical, everything that you think this guy could do anything. And if you remember the commercials, dude had a Nike deal, he had a slogan, he played multiple sports, and then after sports, then he took up what do you call it? Archery? Is that what it's called? Like,
Yes,
like
it's
you're
called
shooting
archery.
like you're shooting bow and arrows? Yeah.
Yes.
Bo Jackson.
Okay.
Injuries derailed his career, but that man was the greatest athlete I've ever seen play any kind of professional sport. He was built like a god. Uh, you know what I mean? College, he was a monster. Professional, he was a monster. You had the Bo Nose commercial and the slogan. Had his own shoe. You know, that was, of course, he could thank Jordan for that probably, but still, Bo Jackson, again, though, overall, though, was the greatest athlete I've ever seen step foot on a field, a baseball field, football field. He was one of a kind. And again, at the time, I mean, I think he put fear in people too, man. I mean, he, like I said, he was just built like no other. Unfortunately, the hip injury, and nowadays he probably would have bounced back like nothing and played again. But that's my guy, Bo Jackson.
Okay. I have two picks, and again, this is going to make sense when I dive into it. So
Okay.
I'm going to go with the more controversial pick, just kind of out of the box, just to get it out of the way. I hate this because I should just have one, but I got to go two. My first
Who you
pick is
got?
going to be Serena Williams.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Nice.
Now, the only reason I say that is because if we're going to go with most athletic, GOAT athlete, chances are it's going to be a dude. It's going to be a male.
Yeah.
And I feel like Serena needs that respect, as I deem the greatest female athlete I've ever seen with my eyes.
Yeah.
She dominated her competition year in, year out. Left tennis, had a baby, came back, still continued to dominate.
Played up into her late 30s.
Late 30s, and this isn't a shot at her. This is no disrespect whatsoever. She, even with what I would deem a more significant weight gain than her contemporaries, than the competition that she was playing against, even at her weight and size, still was dominating. So
Yeah.
so I think that lends to,
I like it.
like you said, in terms of the athleticism. I mean, you tell me, what's more impressive than someone who isn't in pristine physical shape, still out there dominating the best people for years, and they know when they step on the tennis courts with her that they have a very slim chance, if no chance whatsoever. So I just want to give her respect.
I like it.
That's not
Yeah.
pandering to women whatsoever, but I absolutely have to include her in it.
No, that's a really good one.
When it comes to, I guess I'll do the male athlete. It's easy for me, and we know that this person was great throughout their entire career, long career, and I think the thing that was most telling for me, that kind of solidified it for me, was there was a pivotal moment in this athlete's career where there was a competition where they were absolutely getting destroyed, literally getting destroyed. Not only did they, triumph over getting destroyed, them getting destroyed was actually part of the strategy of them winning. I'm going with Mr. Muhammad Ali, and I'm specifically referencing Rumble in the Jungle, where the plan going in was to let Foreman beat his ass for as many rounds as he could take it, to literally exhaust and tire himself out, and then have the speed, skill, strength, and athleticism to and listen, and people, I know a lot of people, especially if you're younger, you're thinking George Foreman, you think about the grills, you think about the overweight dudes selling stuff on TV. No. George Foreman was an absolute monster. Had some of
Yes.
the biggest hands you've ever seen on a boxer. Just, a mountain of a man, all muscle, cornbread fed dude. He was an animal.
Yes.
And Muhammad Ali wore that ass whooping the entire fight. And then when it came time to put Foreman away after letting him tire himself out by just taking the punishment, you've never seen anything like that in sports. And I don't think we'll ever see anything like that ever again. It was a masterful performance by Muhammad Ali where you could say he woke up that morning and saying, how can I beat this guy? What do I need to do to win? And he went out and did the craziest thing ever during the Rumble in the Jungle. So for me, and look, we could go all day. The all the his titles being taken away, being removed from boxing for years, all the civil rights, the Vietnam War, all that other stuff. I'm talking about him just as an athlete. That stuff helps, but as an athlete, give me Muhammad Ali.
Got you. Not a bad pick at all. Can't go wrong.
No,
I like them all. I like all those picks.
Yeah, man. No, that was I had to. I was sitting there and I was thinking about it, man. Like I gotta take Ali.
All right, we'll go to our fun random topic, and I guess it is kind of a GOAT conversation, but it's kind of a different take.
What sounds do goats make? They don't make the same sounds as sheep, do they?
I don't. I think they do.
You grew up with goats. What kind of sounds do they make?
Did. I mean, like they bat.
They bat. They bat.
Bat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know. I just my assumption was that they make the same.
And then
the same sounds as sheep.
You just gotta watch out for them horns on them billy goats, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Of course you do.
Okay, so the fun random topic. Who is our favorite all-time best left-handed athlete player?
Oh man. Okay.
And you can go first because I don't know what you got.
Damn it, man. So this is kind of cheating, and I hope I'm not taking any wind out of your sails because I hope I'm not going to say the one that you were going to say. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say the other one. I'm just going to go with my pick because I think it's gonna. Not only is it going to surprise you, I don't even know if you know that this person is technically left-handed, and the reason this person is technically left-handed is because this person is ambidextrous.
Oh, okay.
I'm going with LeBron.
Wow.
Now, I myself am ambidextrous, so I'm partial to this. And when you see the way
shoot left-handed,
he does not shoot left-handed, but neither do I. And I'm absolutely ambidextrous. I could throw a football, baseball, basketball, as well with my right hand as I can with my left hand. But I'm right hand dominant when it comes to that. But my left hand passes are sick.
Wow.
So it's just I'm partial to that, and I think that's something that kind of lends to how versatile LeBron always was. He was always great going left, and I don't think people kind of gave him credit for that. Wow. But for me, I mean it's a little bit of cheating because he's technically left and right-handed, but being ambidextrous means that you are indeed left-handed. So I'm gonna take LeBron.
Okay. I'm gonna go opposite because I had one person as the MLB GOAT in Barry Bonds, but I'm not gonna pick Barry Bonds.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh damn, that's a good one. Oh, okay.
As my favorite or the best left-handed, because I'm not gonna say the same as like the MLB GOAT. But I think there was a lot of options here. I'm going Griffey again. Sweetest swing ever. Unbelievable center fielder. I guess pop culture icon as well, right? I mean, he had everything. Backwards hat. They still use that logo on clothing to this day. They have the whole thing with baseballism. You get your Ken Griffey Jr. gear. Had a video game, all that stuff. There was, not too many like him. Allegedly, he did it all clean. How could you not like King Griffey Jr.? Other people, though, I thought about, and I'm not going to name 500, 20 people log off, but I'm going to, yeah. But, I thought about Michael Vick. I thought about Tim Tebow. Obviously Bonds, and you could go with Steve Young. And another good one that I never really thought about was Jim Abbott. And if you don't know Jim Abbott, go look him up. He only had his left hand, and he was still able to pitch in the major leagues for many years. That's an unbelievable story as a left-handed athlete. He even hit. So just throw that out there for you all who wasn't in the 90s for Jim Abbott. But so you're going LeBron. I don't like your pick. I'm going King Griffey Jr.
Well, no, and now I feel like a jackass because I mean I was gonna go, and it's I was gonna go with my favorite left-handed player ever, left-handed athlete ever. I was gonna go with Michael Vick. It was easy.
I thought that's what you were gonna say.
I really wanted to, man. Like I mean I lived in Georgia when he was playing.
Mm-hmm.
He was razzle dazzle with the Falcons, unbelievable. Obviously the dogfighting stuff derailed things, and then he came back and played for our Eagles. So it was an easy pick, but I mean, LeBron was just better as a pick. I just had to go with LeBron. Yeah,
you just tried to get one. You just tried to add one more category for LeBron over Jordan. That's all.
No, I mean, listen. If Jordan was left-handed, he would have gotten a pick. But I mean, Jordan. I mean, and listen, I'm pretty sure Jordan had a left, but I mean,
Jordan played. I think he played quarters left-handed.
Yeah, I know he shot some free throws left-handed.
Yeah,
I have seen that. Yeah,
I know he switched hands midair. That's all I know.
He did that. Yeah, he did.
That's good stuff, though.
Did.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So that's all. That's all the GOAT talk for today. That is another episode of Fanatically Speaking. I am Kent, your co-host and promoter.
I am Logoff, the Logoff legend, hater of social media. Yes, I hate social media. I am the co-host and producer of the show. Thanks again for listening to another episode of Fanatically Speaking. Again, this is a show that is for fans, by fans. Please make sure to follow us on all of our socials: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. The podcast is on Apple, Amazon Music, Spotify, anywhere you find podcasts, you can find us. Kent, you got anything to throw in there?
As always, like us, follow us, share, download, subscribe, listen,
Rate,
all that fun stuff.
review.
Rate us, comment.
Yes.
Just everything. Anything you can do with our podcast and our social, our posts, just do it.
Yes. Yeah, do it every time. And yeah, man, that's all I got. Yeah, I'm hungry.
That's a wrap.
All right, man, I'll kill it.
Yep. All right.